are so excited about this conversation. I am probably the most excited. I hate to say that, but this is just so up my alley to be here today with manpower. But I have to say, I kind of like putting the W-O in front of the M-A-N for woman power. So woo woo! I am the CEO of the Female Quotient, so that's probably why I like it so much. I'm also known as Chief Troublemaker, breaking all the rules that make no sense and creating new ones. And I could not be more delighted to be speaking with you, Tomas. So just to open this up, I think everyone knows who you are, but let's just introduce yourself. Tell me who you are and what you do.
Yes, and also very excited to be here with you today. And let's see how many rules we can break. I'm not totally adverse to it, so maybe I can help.
Okay, let's go.
So my name is Tomas Chamorro Premusic. I lead innovation for Manpower Group globally. And this is our 5th or 6th, I think, VivaTech here, where we showcase all of our innovations and have brilliant guests and events. So welcome everybody, and excited to have you partake in this discussion today.
All right, so okay, I'm gonna open up. Of course, I'm known to, as we said, break some rules. So the first one I'm going to break is not going by the script. We're going to go unscripted. Are you okay with that?
I will do my best to adjust.
Okay, I like you already. I think I loved you at Hello, especially with the first book you wrote, or the one that I'm kind of obsessed with. So I first want to know, do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So LinkedIn profiles are kind of generic and boring. I want to know what we wouldn't know about you on LinkedIn. Give us a little secret about you.
Well, my LinkedIn profile is generic and boring because it's an accurate reflection of who I am. There's
I don't
nothing,
buy it. No.
But if you want to know things about me that you shouldn't know or are more, so I'm a psychologist by training. This was my 3rd vocational choice. I first actually tried to be a soap opera actor. I know, so you get like full cheesy Argentine, South America. After I failed at that, I tried to be a football player. And then, in Argentina, everybody's a psychologist. We're kind of fucked up, so we have to deal with our own issues. Sorry, that I shouldn't. We are troubled.
I love that.
So here we are.
I love that, but I don't think you could use the F word in LinkedIn, but other than that, I'm going to now add to your profile all those other things, because I think that's what makes you so incredibly interesting. The other thing that I love about you is your first book. Why do so many men become incompetent leaders? So give us a little synopsis of what that's all about.
So that is a book that highlights the gap between the leaders we need and those we actually have. And it shows that our tendency to focus on confidence rather than competence and to prefer style over substance doesn't just lead to an overrepresentation of men in leadership roles, it also leads to an overrepresentation of incompetent men in leadership roles. And that the best gender diversity intervention, which I know is very close to what you write about and preach, is to focus on talent, not on gender. Because if you're gender blind and you actually select people into leadership roles on the basis of their empathy, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, humility, and integrity, you probably end up with 65% of women in leadership. And many men who are actually good leaders but get overlooked because they're not narcissistic psychopaths.
That's the craziest thing. So I've recently become very good friends with a former Secret Service agent, a woman. She's known as the Greek Spider. And what she says is competence is a basic quality. You got to be competent to be a great leader. But the greatest quality of leadership, which is invisible, unrecognized, unrewarded, is warmth. And that you need competence and warmth to be a great leader. And these are just soft skills. We know the soft skills are competence, warmth, empathy, compassion, passion, and yet those soft skills are unrewarded and invisible, that we need to make the new visible. And so that's everything that you're talking about.
It is, and unfortunately, even when people discuss leadership, they focus too much on the individual's career success traction, right, or tracks. So we've turned leadership into a popularity context. This allows people who are basically parasitic to infest or infect systems and organisms, and weaken the system while they get fatter and fatter. And we actually admire these people and celebrate them. As a matter of fact, we're going to have some of them speaking later in this convention, but no need to name anybody.
That's the craziest thing. And so
everybody knows who I'm talking about, right?
Okay, so how wonderful will it be when we start rewriting our profiles in LinkedIn to start looking for qualified, competent, and warm leaders, that the resumes start saying we're looking for warm, empathetic, compassionate, passionate, collaborative leaders that can deliver a great ROI. Boom.
Boom.
Right?
Yes.
And let's see what we get.
And I think that's going to be even more important now with the growing and inevitable dependence on technology. A lot of our interactions at work being with machines and AI, not with humans. So what we need is not, crooked or robotic leaders, but humane leaders who actually can cultivate these soft or power, or what do you call them, essential skills?
Well, we need to rename soft skills with essential critical skills, so that we actually
value them.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
But let's go there. Let's go to technology and AI, and let's go to your next book.
Yeah, which is coincidentally lying around here. And,
wow.
Who would have thought? Looks like a prop.
Why don't we hold that up and show it
Yes.
a little more visually?
Casually holding it like this. Yes. So the latest book talks about the human-AI interface. And look, I want to start with perhaps the most counterintuitive angle and element, because so often when we hear people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, immediately we accuse it of being biased and of introducing bias to organizations, the world, and society. And ironically, AI as a machine that can, basically find hidden patterns underlying the dynamics and relationship between people and systems, can actually be a great tool to expose human biases that are inherent in the system. So when we hear of examples of technology firms that stop the implementation of a chatbot to select leaders or promote leaders because they recommend a surplus of middle-aged white male engineers, if you stop using the AI, let me tell you, middle-aged white male engineers, and I hope we have none of them here, or some, if we do, there are some good people in the, but these people get still promoted. So the bias is not in the AI, but in the system. So it's ironic to me that when we see AI highlighting our own biases, we're horrified, when human beings have done a great job perfecting and refining their own biases for millennia without the help of any technology, AI or otherwise. So, I think we might have here a tool that can help us debias systems and organizations. If we rely less on human intuition and more on data, we might also help more competent women get to the top.
Okay, so let's unpack. We have so much to discuss here, and we have so little time. So we have a lot of conversations that we have to continue having. So about 10 years ago, I created the expression algorithm for equality, having no idea that AI was going to be so hot, and that generative AI was going to be the thing, and that it's going to be everything that we're talking about. Just a quick question to involve all of you, because you are so immersed in this conversation because of this incredible human being here.
We hope so.
Human, the key word that I want to talk about. How many of you are afraid of AI taking over all of our jobs? Anybody? Good answer. Okay. How many are excited about AI? Okay. So we use the word human. So AI, what will AI do? Because it looks like we see this as a positive. And what will it not do?
So what it will do is take care of the very boring, standardized, and predictable tasks that should be automated, because nobody enjoys doing them, and they're so predictable that machines can do it. This, by the way, includes 80% of the emails we write. When an email platform can auto-complete your message, it's because you have nothing interesting or original to say. The AI has worked it out already. So I think even the future of email, I know that you're a pioneer in tech, is AI emailing AI, and we can basically get busy with more important and rewarding things. That model also applies to jobs. AI will destroy certain jobs, but it will create many, many new ones. 60% of the jobs that exist today didn't exist in 1940. Probably 80% of the jobs that will exist in 2050 don't exist today. But in the short term, AI will change how you perform the jobs you have, keeping humans in the loop, right? So just like the Uber app makes it less necessary for a taxi driver to know their way around the city, but more important for them to have a good conversation, a nice playlist, and a clean car. So if you are busy doing copyright, translation, or even coding, AI will take care of that, but you have to basically shift towards highly imaginative, more curious, and creative activities. There's no indication that people automatically do that, but we do have the self-regulation and the self-control and the agency to do that. But that also requires good leadership.
Okay, I want to add one more quality of great leadership, which you just experienced right now, which was listening. You are a great listener, listening to hear, because you used the word agency. Thank you for that. We're going to rename power to agency. Power is command and control, which is power over someone. Agency is power control over yourself. Thank you for hearing that. That was amazing. Okay, the other thing is, I'm going to ask you this question because AI, the word is, and you said we're going to lose some jobs, and people fear that that'll be women because that's entry-level skills. But we also use the word human and emotive. It won't take the emotion out, and that is the feminine. So can you comment on that?
Yeah, first of all, already today, but more so in the future, we think that there's going to be massive need and craving for humane interactions at work with our leaders, with our colleagues. The fact that we often optimize everything for efficiency make things quite dull, boring, and tedious. Even the ability to work from home and work in hybrid mode, which is a great idea, who doesn't want more freedom and flexibility, actually dilutes a lot of the great cultural experiences that people, and especially young people, seek from the workplace. So I think rehumanizing work and ensuring that we make time even for serendipitous interactions and that we revalue the irrelevant, and we move away from treating people like productivity machines and treating them as the human beings they are, and actually try to understand them and appreciate them, or even just tolerate them for who they are. That will be the key to a workplace that everybody wants to join, and an organization that will outperform its competitors as well, because culture and talent are the key assets. Technology is a commodity.
Totally agree with that. The other thing I just want to, end on, and then we're going to get questions. So start thinking about some great questions for Tomas. Is bias in, bias out, junk in, junk out. When we talk about technology, when we talk about AI, we do need women in the business of AI, because if we don't have that feminine in creation, we are going to have bias in the development of AI as well, right? Can you talk about that perspective?
Yes, so the evidence on this is very clear. First, in general, women do outperform men in the hard skills and the soft skills that are needed to lead effectively, especially things like empathy, EQ, self-awareness, integrity, humility, all the things we say we want, but we don't get. Secondly, teams that are more diverse, including for gender, have more cognitive diversity, so they're less likely to default to groupthink and more likely to see things in different perspective. And thirdly, since most of the people in the world are women, you need to have female representation to have their preferences, viewpoints, and interests represented. They're less likely to be represented if the C-suite looks like 95% male, and actually the 5% that are women out male males in masculinity. It's not a very good model.
Say it louder.
Yeah, out males in masculinity. It's a very cacophonic alliteration that I'm struggling with, but hopefully I said it all right the first time.
Well, I just think all you men here are very competent, by the way, because you're all here. So I'm for all men and women. We call you all conscious leaders, by the way. So as long as you're a conscious leader, I think you're competent and warm because you're all here, right?
Absolutely, and it's good that we are all here as well, and not replaced yet by generative or degenerate AI. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit.
I totally agree with that. I think it's incredibly important, understanding that gender equality is about men and women all working collaboratively together to make the world a better place.
And on that, because we had a very interesting panel yesterday chaired by our Chief Marketing Officer, title, Is This a Man's World? The most important thing to understand is that it isn't, because men benefit if more women run the world. So it's not a man's world if you have more men in charge, and therefore that dilutes the quality of the leadership.
You were raised by a very good mother.
She would agree with that. So I won't tell her. Yeah.
Tell your grandmother. A very good grandmother. Anyways, I actually think it is just so incredibly important to have these conversations and to be learning from all your incredible wisdom and all your research. So thank you for all that you're doing. Okay, we're going to open it up for questions from all of you. One question. One question.
One question, yes.
So I was just wondering, so whether it's like the female empowerment or like I Human, typically the struggle is implementing it at the workplace. That really people adopt it and they don't have this bohica, like bend over, here it comes again, like the next wave, let's duck and dive. So what would be your opinion for workplaces, for people when they get the new talents, instead of having it exclusively to maybe the young or the ones who are enlightened, but just to everyone in any organization, any workplace? So how would you do this for organizations to really feel the wave of transformation and to really be able to get the fruition from that?
You're talking about AI or gender now?
Well, whether it's female empowerment that requires new skills, new thinking, or are human adopting AI kind of behavior, prompt engineering, these kind of skills.
Yeah.
Because typically it only lands with the ones who are have to change or are young and fresh.
So I think it's a great question, and I think in general, the foundational qualities that make for good leadership are relatively stable. Generally speaking, it has always been better to have leaders who are competent rather than inept, honest rather than corrupt, and humble rather than arrogant. Now, the challenges of leadership change all the time, and today managing the AI-human interaction is a big challenge, which requires leaders to be curious, experiment, reskill, learn, bring the necessary expertise. But fundamentally then shift to this model. We are big advocates and fans of the idea of the leader as a coach. That actually what leaders need to do today to be good is very similar to what great executive coaches need to do. Understand individuals really well, give them feedback to make them self-aware, nurture and harness the potential they have, position them in ways and in places where their natural predispositions become talent or are expressed as talent, and fundamentally be change agents. Nobody is a leader to keep things as they are. Leadership should be an argument with tradition, and the fundamental argument that good leaders need to have today is to be that conduit, that vessel between the past that is outdated and not future ready, and this brave new world where technology will be an important enhancer of human performance. Diversity and gender shouldn't be a separate component of this. If you actually focus on talent and you nurture the capabilities people have, you will de-bias internal promotion and external hiring as well.
Totally agree.
Thing at the back, yeah.
Hi, I'm Catherine from Australia, and I'm based in Paris.
Hello.
I've got a question which is a bit full on. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to word it, but I'm going to try and get it out right.
And can you speak up just a
I will
little bit
speak
so we
up.
can hear?
Okay, so women. I spent 20 years in the industry. I'm a cybersecurity specialist. I went and lost my job at Citigroup after 10 years, literally from a secretary, and then ended up running the whole of EMEA for information security. I went and adopted.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I then went and adopted 3 kids from Russia. I came back to France with my French husband. I then wanted to try and get work, and no one wanted to hire me. And it was very interesting. So I've actually started my own business, but it's fascinating. I just really want to say, what is it around women between 45 and 55 when they really want to get back in after amazingly raising kids? What's going on? This is a question we're not asking, and I'm going to be brave enough to start asking it because we have so many. I'm a leader. We have amazing women available, and something's going wrong. And we have the energy. We are COOs at home. So what do you have to say, or what could you maybe express in regards to the future of that right now between what we're trying to do and trying to get us girls, amazing women, to help the younger generation?
Yeah, bravo. A round of applause, please. Look, I think, this is testimony, I think, first of all, to your talents rather than gender or, the female kind of gender as a whole, And I would never bet against talent. Talent wants to be free, and the more chains are put on it, the more it will fight. I wrote an article about 10 years ago on how bad leadership is the main catalyst of entrepreneurship, and how data shows that this is especially true for women entrepreneurs, because the more you restrict access to existing jobs and opportunities, the more you're forced to go outside to innovate and actually compete and outperform the existing businesses. Hopefully, but yes, so I think this is a great example of how talent can break these morbid and corrupt cycles that put all these obstacles, change, and barriers on people. And I'm sure you want to add something, Charity.
I'm 61 years old. I'm better than I've ever been. 61 is the new 61. It is not the new 40. You got to own it. You got to be it. Menopause, menopause, menopause. You got to take taboo topics and make them the new normal. And we just have to start talking about this shit. And that's all you got to start doing. And that's why I publicly talk about everything, so that they're not exceptions, but they become the new norm. And that's what we have to do. So I got you, girl. Send me your resume, and I'll look after you. I got you.
Thank you. I feel we're just warming up, but I think, unfortunately, we have to go. All I will say is that she's way better than Elon Musk. And that's not really a big compliment, but it should be taken.
Elon's pretty good because he just hired my girlfriend as the new CEO,
there you go.
And she's going to rock it.
There you go. So there's always redeeming qualities.
So we got hope there.
Yeah, we have hope. Thank you so much. Thank you.